Alright guys, if you had a team of men on one island and a team of women on another island, who do you think would be the best at surviving? Let's find out.
2 uninhabited Pacific islands.
One will be inhabited by 14 British men, while a separate island will be home to 14 British women.
So I know you guys love my previous video on survival between a man and a woman, and these clips are from a TV show called The Island with Bear Grylls. And throughout this video, I'll be breaking it up in sections: camp, fire, hunting, and food. And we're gonna see how each gender performs in these categories. But before I get into it, if you're new to this channel, I'm Jay Hall. We keep it real over here, and we seek the truth over here. I have an Instagram, you guys can go ahead and follow that, and I also have a second channel where you can find more of my content. With that said, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first task of this challenge is for them to find a camp, preferably close to the beach and away from the middle of the island where there are all dangerous animals and snakes and all that.
Paul thinks the group's best option is a beach.
I personally want to just plough on and make it. I mean, it's going to get darker in here quicker than it is on the beach.
Paul pushes on, despite the group's growing dissent.
I found the sea.
So while the men decided to stick together and find a beach, the women set up camp in the forest and broke up into groups to go search for the beach.
So one group's going to go look, and one group's going to stay here.
Who's in the go group?
Me.
Can I come?
Yeah. Have you got your whistles?
Yes, we're whistled up.
And there were also some egos involved. Some people did not want to be told what to do.
I'm used to being in forests, and I'm not going to be really happy if people start telling me I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah.
So the different groups of women that split up, they couldn't find a camp.
This is actually the opposite direction. We're going back towards the beach.
So the camp decided to take matters into their own hands and go find those groups.
The women at camp are finally taking their fate into their own hands.
They haven't found us, so we've got no alternative but to find them, because we've stayed and we've waited. I don't even know, 2 days, 3 days?
Which defeats the whole purpose of them staying at the camp to keep the fire going. But whatever.
Just for comparison, I will point out that at the end of the show, 2 men, Kyle and Sam, got lost in the forest at night and were still able to make it back to camp in the same day. I will also point out that the fire the women were trying to protect went out, making the whole reason they split up completely pointless.
Exactly. And this commentary was from Think Before You Sleep. He actually did a very good breakdown of the entire series. So if you guys want to check that out, it's in the description below, man.
You're very nearly there.
Here we go! Oh my God! Wow! Let it get just got really out! Oh my God!
I don't want to sound too cocky too early.
No, I don't think we should.
I don't think we should at all. But right now,
We're winning.
And I will give the girls props because they actually managed to make a fire before the men did. So when it came to hunting, the men immediately went after their food and managed to catch a crocodile. It's crazy.
3, go!
Get in there, boys! Woo!
Actually wrapping up a dinosaur.
We just caught a prehistoric animal.
So while the men had to go out there to find their food, 2 piglets just stumbled upon the girls' camp.
There's a pig there.
Hello.
All they've eaten in a week are a few handfuls of yucca and coconut.
We've got 2 of the cutest little piglets here.
Their little tails wag like dogs, they're so cute.
And keep in mind, they say anything that moves on the island should be seen as a potential food source.
Everything that moves on the island really should be seen as a potential source of food, and that includes the pigs.
Oh, you're so cute. Come here, Sage. Onion.
But instead of actually killing and eating these pigs, this is what the women do instead.
They sleep with the pigs, they feed the pigs, they comb the pigs' hair, they turn them into pets and name them Sage and Onion. They pretty much do everything with the pigs except eat them.
The fate of Sage and Onion hangs in the balance. The women have befriended them and now can't agree whether or not to eat them.
I am hungry. I don't think I could look into his little piggy eyes and then kill him.
You know, honestly, this is kind of cute. It's what I expected. They couldn't bring themselves to kill the pigs. But what will they do when true hunger strikes? Because you know hunger is a bitch. So let's see what they do.
A hunting party led by Lauren has stumbled across a sleeping pig in the middle of the jungle.
Overall, I personally believe women can be more empathetic, which is why it was so hard for them to kill the animals. And I also think a lot of people wouldn't eat meat if they had to kill the animals themselves. Meat consumption would go down. Okay, so clearly since they're on an island, another food source would be fish. And the men actually managed to come up with an efficient way to capture fish in the sea by setting up nets.
Yes! Nowhere! There's a lot of whooping coming from those nets, people.
All I wanted was just a fish, one fish. How many fishes have we got?
20! But before the men got to this point, there were some disagreements to whether or not the net in the sea would work to capture fish.
Yo! Do you trust me? I would never trust a stranger. Am I a stranger? At first you were. Okay. It's taken me longer to get used to you than it has any other guys. They sound a little bit like me. So unfortunately, I don't trust you.
So my guy right here kept on going. He set up his nets in the sea and was able to prove this guy wrong. And he earned his trust and earned his respect.
Sam Farmer, my hat comes off to you, sir. Well done you for having the balls and the determination to fix them every time. Because that certainly weren't my cup of tea.
And meanwhile, this is how the women capture fish.
You have fish? One fish?
He's gonna throw it!
Oh, you're very, very kind. Whoa!
Now I think that is a...
And that's one of the perks of being a woman. You're more likely to get help and receive help, especially from men.
Barracuda?
We caught a fish!
Yeah!
Oh my God, it's massive!
That's what she said. Because as I said, we are hardwired to protect women. That's one of the duties of the masculine energy. So do you guys remember the pig they caught earlier? So they tried to preserve the meat by putting it in one of the water containers, and it failed horribly.
Preserved pork no longer edible. The women removed the pig's remains and jerrycan of putrid meat from the camp. Unconvinced they could salvage a rancid jerrycan and use it to purify the water again, the women throw it away.
And this is a horrible decision because they just got rid of one of their most important containers to filter the water. And surprise, surprise, this is what happens.
The women have now been without water for more than 48 hours, and they are dangerously dehydrated.
That's what happens when you get rid of one of your water containers.
Their situation is now beyond critical.
Medical advice is that the castaways are now so critically dehydrated that within a few hours, their lives will genuinely be in danger. So really, I've got no choice.
And one of the main struggles that women have been going through is dehydration. And as a result of them throwing away one of their water containers, this is what their water now looks like.
I don't want to drink the water. It tastes of poo. You drink it, then you go, and then you vomit.
That shit looks like diarrhea and death. But this is how the water situation is going for the men.
Have you learned to hate drinking warm water?
Actually, it's good. It's really good. And you don't have to kind of just knock it back. It's decent water. The water was not an issue.
Yeah.
And actually, dehydration was your own fault rather than lack of water.
Say it's going pretty well, shit. And I really wanted to see the women do really well, just as well as the men. Because people are gonna see this video and think I'm trying to like paint the woman in a bad light. I'm just showing y'all what happened. This is the video. This is what happened. And I think a big predicator of the women not doing as well as the men is work ethic. I think the men worked more around the clock. They used their time wisely. While the women had more pleasure, they decided to chill more, relax more.
Whilst the rest of the women are more interested in sunbathing and relaxing on the beach.
Oh, this is why we came here. This bay is the absolute dream, isn't it?
Beth and Lauren wake to discover none of the other women have done any work.
This shows you the difference between feminine and masculine energy. If I was on the island, I'll be using every hour to try to prepare myself for what's to come, make sure I have food, make sure I have water. And if I was with a woman, I'll make sure that she's set helping out with the camp while I go out there and try to hunt, try to get some food. And because of the world we live in today, we have to give participation points to the women. We have to actually paint them in a better light.
If I hadn't turned up today, and I turned up in 6 months, I bet these guys would be in pretty good shape. And I knew it. I knew the stereotype was wrong, you know? But I knew they could nail this.
I don't know how he could say this when some of the women could have died from severe dehydration. If he turned up in 6 months, it would have been a lawsuit. So I don't know what he's talking about, bro. Like, I actually want to see the women perform really well, man, because I actually want them to prove equality. So far, it's sounding like nonsense to me, because I believe that men and women are meant to live in harmony. I think we're different for the right reasons, yin and yang. We are two sides to the same coin. And with that said, I'll see you on the next one, man. Peace out.